Hey guys, welcome back to Insight Tennis Tour Stroke Series. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about the volley. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I talk about there is actually a fair amount of swing in the volley. This is one of the greatest misconceptions out there, in my opinion. I think too often you hear, keep your hands out in front and leave them out in front. While it is good to start with your hands out in front, there is movement in the volley, in the take back, and also the swing to contact. So we want to illustrate some things today using a ball machine to give you guys some idea of exactly what we're talking about. We're going to demonstrate the way not to do it, if you will, or the way that's being taught far too often, in my opinion. And then we're going to show you how the best players in the world volley and use that technique. And this is going to be very, very revealing for a lot of you. Those that have been taught, I need to have my hands clear out here and leave my hands out here. That keeps me, I'm not connected with my body. I've lost my control and I've lost the power source, which is my body. Okay, so what we want to do today is kind of show you the differences, and we'll go ahead and use a ball machine here to illustrate kind of what we're talking about. And again, you'll be able to not only see the difference, but you'll also be able to hear the difference. The difference in the power off my racket, that pop that you hear the pros have, you cannot achieve that with this pushing idea, having my racket out here and then just pushing into the ball. And we'll go ahead and illustrate that so you guys can kind of see the difference. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about this release back. You've heard me talk about this little release back of the racket. So if I'm here and I'm relaxed and I take my racket back like this, as the ball is coming, you're going to see that my racket will actually release back slightly and then come down into the ball. And that's the key right there, is that little release back. Timing that with nice soft hands, a little squeeze at impact, that's the key to that pop that you hear the pros have. So we'll get into this, guys. Hopefully this is going to be helpful for you, and let's take a look at what that looks like. Again, what I want you to notice is there's a little swing, and I also release my racket back. I want you to notice that as well, okay? Okay. So notice there's a little release back on that backhand. Now, if I do what is often taught, and I just put my hands out here like this, and then when the ball comes, again, and just kind of move into the ball, you can see that there's nothing on that, okay? Just kind of moving into the ball. Let's try that again. So I'm here, I'm relaxed, and I just move into the ball. It's true I'm not going to miss many of those, but there's nothing on that. Now notice the difference when I release that racket back. Listen to the pop on that ball, okay? That's the difference between staying in the point and winning the point. You notice the popping sound there. That's what we want. Okay? But what I want you guys to pay attention to is this little backswing that allows me to come down and really drive that ball, okay? Now it's the same thing on the forehand side, okay? If I move over here on the forehand side, I'm going to show the wrong way to do it. Notice that I'm putting my racket out here, my body isn't connected, and I'm just pushing at the ball, okay? I hear people talk about this all the time, and this is killing your volley. Yeah, I'm not going to miss very many volleys, but there's just nothing on that. Now, the difference, which we'll illustrate now, is this little move where I release the racket back and I come down into the ball, and that's where you're going to actually end those points. And you can hear the sound. There's a drastic difference between the two. One is going to end the point. Okay, so let's catch a couple here so you can see. So notice there is a swing in the volley. There is a swing. I'm taking it back and through, and that's what I want, okay? Versus just sticking my racket out. You notice there's absolutely nothing on that ball. Yeah, I can hit it back, but I'm not going to end the point. The last thing that I want to talk about is the soft hands, a little squeeze at impact, and you can see I can hit that ball pretty offensively. If I catch it clean, that ball just is not coming back. Now let's do a couple more. That's a solid one right there. And again, if I have time to move in, I will. That racket back, and I have that little swing, as you can see. Now, this is another one that gives people a lot of trouble, that ball that's right at me, okay? Notice that I don't do a whole lot. I'm gonna lean a little bit if I have to, but again, if it's right at me, all I have to do is make sure I get my racket into this position, and I can fight that off, no problem at all. And I can actually be offensive with that shot as well. And you can see plenty of power on that shot. And you can go, as you see, I'm going right through, being down and right through that ball, okay? So, again, now, if we want to do some low volleys, this is the other thing that I see a lot of people misunderstanding. Notice that I get down to the ball and I have to have an open racket face. And then I have no problem getting that ball up over the net. If I don't have my open racket face and I don't bend my knees, not at the waist but at the knees, to get down to that ball, then I'm going to miss that shot. If I execute that correctly, I can take a defensive position and turn it into offense. And you notice, if I can step in, I want to do that to get my momentum going toward my target. But if I don't have time, then I've got to use a little more wrist like that. Okay? If I don't have time to step in, I can still hit a very offensive volley just like that by just using a little more wrist. As you can see, and you can hear the difference, guys. I'm not hitting these real hard, but you can see that's a very solid volley, and it's right off the baseline back there, okay? And that's what we want. That's what we're looking for. We want your volleys, first volley to be nice and deep, and then the next one is the ball you're going to end the point. Now, if you have more time, you can swing even a little bit more. The slower the ball, the more swing you have. So I start here, and I'm taking it back, and then I'm going to step in and drive that ball, okay? That's a solid one right there. Which would you rather have? This one, okay, which sounds like a marshmallow, okay? Or would you rather have that one? Okay, so I release that racket back, and that is the key, guys. You got to make sure, get that racket back so that you can drive that ball. All right, guys, hopefully that's going to be helpful for you. Next time you're out there, think about that swing, little swing to generate that momentum. So what we want to look like is we're going to take our racket back to about this position here, then it's going to release back and come down into the ball. On the backhand side, I'm going to take my racket for now about back to here. As the ball is slower, you can take it back even farther, but right now I'd like to about right here, and then release back and then come down and into that ball. Start doing this on your volleys, guys. It's going to make a world of difference. You're going to hear that pop, and you're going to start ending points, and that's what you're looking for. If you like this video, click the link below. Subscribe to the channel, Insight Tennis. Check out our website at insighttennis.com. And leave any comments or questions below. We love to hear your feedback, guys. Appreciate your time as always. We'll see you next time out on the court.